Well, it's a sea of red at Scotiabank Saddledome tonight for round 1 of 4 in this year's Battle of Alberta. The young Oilers are confident. The veteran Flames are desperate. They'll be expecting help tonight from Yuri Hudler and Roman Cervenka, playing their first games as Flames. In fact, Cervenka's first ever NHL game. The rookie Sven Barchi stays in the lineup tonight. There was some talk around here yesterday that Barchi could be scratched tonight, but Bob Hartley says that was not a consideration. The Oilers, of course, coming off that dramatic OT win over Los Angeles 2 nights ago, but they have one lineup change. Timo Hartikainen is out tonight. Darcy Hordichuk is in for Hartikainen. Now stand by for a couple of special guests in a ceremonial puck drop at Scotiabank Saddledome tonight.
At center, number 40, Alex. The 2012-13 National Hockey League season marks the 60th season for Canada's longest-running television program, CBC's Hockey Night in Canada. Since 1952, Saturday nights in Hockey Night in Canada have become a Canadian tradition in houses across our country. Here tonight, in order to help us mark this special season, are two members of the Hockey Night in Canada family that are more than just household names. Ladies and gentlemen, the Calgary Flames are very proud to welcome to the ice from Hockey Night in Canada and Coach's Corner, Ron McLean. And AHL and NHL Coach of the Year, the one, the only great, Don Cherry. Captain Jerome McGinley to make their way to center ice for ceremonial CBC Hockey Night in Canada 60th anniversary puck drop. This time, the Calgary Flames and fans around the world would like to extend our sincere congratulations to CBC and Hockey Night in Canada for 60 great seasons. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, Ron McLean and Don Cherry. Accompanied by members of the Calgary Fire Department in the singing of the Canadian National Anthem.
From far and wide, oh
Battle of Alberta has been a one-sided affair since 2009, with the Flames winning 15 of the last 18, but the Oilers have won the last 2. So we'll see tonight if youth can prevail to keep the streak alive. Mark Lee and Kelly Rudy are in the broadcast booth. Mark?
Yes, Scott, the young and exciting Oilers bring their swagger to Calgary tonight to face the veteran-laden Flames, desperate for their first win. It's the opening salvo in the Battle of Alberta, and Devin Dubnyk made 30 saves in a bounce-back performance to beat the Stanley Cup champion LA Kings on a delirious Thursday night in Edmonton. Mika Kiprusoff, seeking his first win, has enjoyed enormous success against Edmonton. He's won 32 games versus the Oilers, beating them more than any other team in the NHL. The officials tonight, Tom Cowell and Greg Kimmerly, the same crew that marshaled the penalty-filled game in Edmonton Thursday, featuring 17 power plays. On the lines, Don Henderson and Ryan Galloway. Well, as Scott said it, the Flames have owned the Battle of Alberta in the last 3 to 4 years, but the young Turks of Edmonton are ramping up, coming off that exciting overtime win over the Kings on Thursday night, as they tip it in early, and an icing call against Edmonton as Giordano touches up for the Flames.
You know, I think this is a unique opportunity for Kruger to watch his team develop early on in this season. 2 great games and 1 dog. So we'll see if this, hopefully this pattern doesn't last for the Oilers.
Well, they've shown when they're committed to playing defense and offense, they can be an awesome hockey team. At the point, Bomeister, a blast that hits Hall up front. And now Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, a bounce pass to center. Hall dropping it for Eberle. Eberle across the line, back to Nugent-Hopkins. He's checked by Ginla. Nugent-Hopkins back on the puck to the point. Justin Schultz, a snapshot through traffic. Just wide. Nick Schultz keeps it in deep. Hall gets it behind the net. Eberle in front, a shot from Justin Schultz. And a great save by Kiprusoff. I don't think he saw it at first. Back behind the net into the corner now. Eberle loses the puck to Bomeister as the Oilers apply early pressure, dancing around these Flames. Now Ginla back in the Edmonton zone. A drop pass for Giordano. He can't get the shot through. Chipping away at it. Hudler on the ice, can't get it to go, and it's back in the zone as Hemsky turns in the Calgary end. Back to Gagne off the bench on the backhand, and he just misses the Calgary net. Along the boards into the corner. Speed keeps it deep. Chip back to center ice by Wyden. Petrie having to go back in deep, being pestered by Roman Cervenka, making his first appearance in the National Hockey League here tonight. Chip by Hudler just sailed past Dubnyk. Cervenka bottled up along the boards. Hudler with help can't get it to the point. It's knocked down. Here comes Nail Yakubov with Hemsky on the right side. Hemsky fires it on goal, and out to make the save is Kiprusoff. He's not sure where it is, but he'll freeze it for a whistle.
Well, Mark, the chances you were talking about were generated from Justin Schultz from the point, and you'll always notice in this game that he always takes a wrist shot from the point. There was that ever dangerous shot that just went wide. Then he has that unique ability to jump into the play. He feels when the opportunity is there. Right there, again, another little wrister. Boy, he's got a real feel for the game and when to jump into the play.
He led the Oilers in time on the ice in the last game against the Kings, almost 27 minutes, and he had more ice than anybody on both teams in the game against San Jose. Payarvi in behind the net, looking for a wraparound, fires it right on, and a quick glove save from Kiprusoff.
Well, Mark, you mentioned Justin Schultz and his ice time. Take a look at his numbers the last 3 games. Keep in mind that versus LA, the 26 and 51 was in part because of the penalty that Smead had taken.
Yeah, 23 minutes in the first period. Another chance. It goes off the glove of Camilleri. A backhand pass by Smith, and it's cleared up to Camilleri again. Chipping it to Derek Smith, jumping into the rush. A long shot, bobbled by Dubnyk, and he'll cover it up.
This is a pattern I don't like right now for Calgary, and that this is now the 3rd straight game, Mark, that they've started poorly. Go back to the Anaheim game, in which they fell behind 3-0. Then they fell behind against Vancouver 2-0. They've clearly been outplayed this first 2 minutes and 10 seconds by the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, I mean, the only great start they had was their season opener against San Jose, when they had, 2 or 3 goalposts and could have been up 3-0.
Absolutely. They're terrific in that first.
But they've had to battle back in the last 2 games, indeed. Leonard Petrell going wide on T.J. Brodie, who gets his stick in the way. Petrell still on the puck. Off the stick of Como. Battling is Blair Jones, and it comes back inside the Calgary zone. Flames trying to get organized. Brodie all the way to center. Como can't get it to Berchi, and the Oilers take possession again. Belanger. It's cleared back up the left wing for Darcy Hordachuk, replacing Timo Hartikainen in the lineup tonight for Edmonton. The only change since that Thursday night game against L.A. Berchi trying to split the defense. Has it knocked away by Ladislav Schmid. And then Petrie dumps Jones to the ice with some physical play that we've seen from him since about the second half of last season. Jeff Petrie up the right wing. Beverly can't control the pass. He's broken up at center by Glencross. Ahead to Tanguay. He's in. The shot save. An errant stick on the play. Out of the hands of Nick Schultz. Went right into the netminder, but didn't affect the save.
Well, young Sven Barchi of the Calgary Flames was grabbed a lot of attention here early on, and here's that great speed that he has, showing it going to the net, and then Tanguay getting a chance here. You know, Alex Tanguay is a guy that has always been known as a pass-first kind of guy, but I've been impressed this early part of the season. He's shooting a lot more.
Yeah, a couple of goals already for the Flames. He gets the draw to Giordano at the left point. He fans on it. The puck comes out to Eberle, kicking it ahead. Eberle with a 2-1. He's got Hall trying to saucer it back to Hall. Oh, and it just goes to the side of the net. Kiprusoff losing his stick. Sticks all over the ice. Back comes Bouwmeester all by himself for Calgary. On the backhand pass, broken up by Nick Schultz. Justin Schultz giving chase for it. Glencross back to Giordano. Throwing it towards the net off the stick of Dubnyk. It lands on the stick of Taylor Hall. Turning away from Glencross. A blind pass broken up by Giordano. Just a little too far as Iginla tried to one-time it back to Tanguay. Tanguay breaks it free. It lands right on Nugent Hopkins' stick, and he looked for Hemsky on a breakaway pass that was just a little too far. Hemsky and Yakupov in behind the Calgary net. Glencross back to help out for the Flames. Yakupov pokes it free. Brodie back behind the net, right to Hemsky. Hemsky turning away from Brodie into the corner with it now. A stick check from Weidman breaks it up, and Glencross will flip it down the ice. Ryan Whitney is back to get it for Edmonton. Along the boards, Cervenka pinching along. Into the corner goes Stajan. Bottled up by Gagne and Mark Fistrick in his second start for Edmonton. Stajan along the boards. Chopped away by Fistrick. To the near side it comes. Hemsky beaten to it by Derek Smith. Gagne will flip it down the ice as the Oilers try to get a quick change on the fly. Pressing though is Saric up to Hoover, who tips and then he heads for a change. Dubnyk back to Petrie. Both teams with fresh legs on the ice. The pass off the skate of Ryan Smith. He chops Camilleri to the ice, and Horkoff pounces on a loose puck. A bounce pass to Ladislav Schmid, trying to stay out of the penalty box tonight. Petrie up the left wing. Here comes Horkoff ahead to Smith. Payarvi going hard to the net. The pass going off the skate of Sarge, and back up ice is Lee Stepniak. He's got two for Calgary already. Camilleri on the backhand. Can't get it free. It's loose. Rebound! Backlund pounding! It's in! He scores! Michael Backlund crashing the Edmonton net to open the scoring here in Calgary.
Well, this play was really generated because of Lee Stepniak crossing the Oilers' blue line with speed and then going to the net, pass, and then there's a chance right there by Camilleri, and then Backlund just going hard to the net and pushing that past Dubnyk. Now, Dubnyk is not happy right now. I think he wants goalie interference. Take a look. Well, you know what? Yes, he may have been kicking that too. I think Dubnyk also feels that he had the puck and that he was being pushed into the back of the net.
Well, the goal is under review, Kelly, as Backlund was right in the crease and battling the netminder for space.
Let's take a couple more looks at this where Camilleri gets the puck on net. Dubnyk makes a good save right here. It comes out front, and there's Backlund going at it. Petrie falls. He can't contain Backlund.
Now Ryan Smith is pushing Backlund at the end of that play, but Backlund went right in on his own volition.
He did. I think I have to side with Dubnyk.
After further review, the call on the ice stands. It's a good goal.
Well, Dubnyk's not going to like the call.
There's my goalie bias, I guess, Mark.
Backlund with his second of the season from Camilleri and Stempniak at 5:16. And the home team is out 1-0. Wow, the Oilers had all the early pressure, the best chances. And Michael Backlund, who has looked so much more mature and looks a lot stronger this year, hasn't he? Gets his second. There's Blair Jones with a long wrist shot that Dubnyk handles routinely.
You know, Jones in this fourth line with Como and Ferci is, I think, a good energy line to have. Jones is a guy that last year I really thought that had really improved a lot, willing to do anything for this team, and he's pretty versatile. He can play center and right wing as well. So look for him to add quite a bit this season for the Flames.
Fired a year ago this month from Tampa Bay for Brendan Mickelson. And they really like his hockey IQ. Golmeister firing it through traffic. It doesn't get through. Whitney in a battle with Iginla. It squirts to the side of the goal. Cleared ahead by Nugent Hopkins. Here's Taylor Hall with some jump to center. Across the line. Golmeister rides him right to the boards. Glencross fighting for the puck. It comes free. Tapped ahead by Giordano. Broken up by Justin Schultz. Standing his ground at the blue line. Now he's on the attack. Schultz has it taken away on the back check by Curtis Glencross. A 3-on-2 for the Flames. Glencross checked by Eberle on the back check.
Looks like we have a holding penalty here, Mark. You know,
yeah, it's Eberle going to the box for holding.
That just shows you how good and responsible Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is on the back check. You're going to see Eberle right here grab Jerome McGinley's jersey from behind, but Justin Schultz was caught up in the play, and he skates so well that he's able to get back. Golmeister, the same thing. Great skating ability. That's why Taylor Hall wasn't able to get across and beat him on the blue line.
Power play is rated number 4 in the NHL right now, with number 2 at home, with 50% on home ice. But that Oil penalty kill was outstanding against LA, 8 for 8. So they had 5-on-3s. Had some practice that night, didn't they?
Yeah.
Flames chip it in. Hoodler on the power play to start here for Calgary. Giordano keeping it in. Rink wide to the big shot of Weidman. It's blocked by Petrell and comes back into the neutral zone. Dennis Weidman, the big acquisition on the blue line for this specific purpose. A big shot. Gets it ahead to Giordano. He'll fire it in the Edmonton zone. Horkoff can't reach it. Smith chipping it out into his own bench for a whistle.
You know, this Edmonton Oilers power play, or PK, they learned their lesson against San Jose where they're dreadful in the first period. I thought San Jose spreading them out too much, and you can see that they've worked on that, and they work much better as a 4-man unit, or if need be, 3-man unit.
The Oilers have really got to watch their penalties. Iginla with the draw, trying to saucer it ahead to Glencross. It was chopped away by Justin Schultz. He's got it again, and he'll get it out past Weidman. The Oilers were shorthanded for 10 of the first 14 minutes against LA and survived. Weidman headmans to Tanguay. He bobbles the puck in behind Schultz. Leaves it for Camilleri. Centering pass broken up by Fistrick, and he'll send it right back down the ice. Edmonton getting a full change on this PK. Payarvi and Gagne up front now with Petrie and Schmid. Iginla standing at the Edmonton blue line. As Weidman makes his way to center. He'll fire it off the glass. Pinching is Camilleri along with Iginla. He's got the puck. Iginla feeds Tanguay at the point. Rink wide. Weidman working the line. Back to Tanguay. Tanguay can't get the shot. Pestered, but he gets the pass through to Iginla. Iginla bounce pass to Tanguay. Rink wide for Camilleri. And it hops over his stick. Weidman again at the line. Across to Tanguay. Weidman. Range. Fires. Big rebound to Camilleri. He can't reach it. And it's chopped out by Payarvi. Payarvi trying to go one-on-one with Weidman as Eberle steps back on the ice. The Flames with one shot on goal in that power play.
Didn't generate any traffic in front of Dubnyk either, Mark.
So the Oil kill their 9th consecutive penalty in 2 games as Hoodler Turns at the half board. Caught by Yakupov. It's in the corner. Stajan loses his edge. Cervenka bottling up along the boards with Whitney. Whitney gets the puck free to Boulanger. He returns the pass. Hemsky throwing it back in the corner. Oilers having trouble coming out. Now Calgary backs off as Cervenka heads for a change. Hemsky at center. A move around Stajan. Loses the puck to Giordano. Goldmeister back up ice to center. Stajan gets it across the line. Drops it for Como. No shot with a stick in the lane from Whitney. Stajan again along the boards. Digging for the puck along with Blake Como. It comes free to nail Yakupov. Yakupov with that spectacular tying goal with just under 5 seconds to go against the Kings in that polarizing celebration. But he loses the advance on that, and it's sent back in by Como. Dubnyk out battling one-on-one with Sven Berchi. They managed to get it free. Nugent Hopkins ahead to Hall. Return pass from Eberle. Hall is shot right on. And Kiprusoff up high in the crease to make the save. It's 1-0.
It's Nail Yakupov of the Oilers in our bio, presented by Subway Restaurants. Oilers Nation's part of a blog network. They've been running a Photoshop contest, and we present this as one of the more creative ones. Yakupov headlining a hip-hop group with Jordan Eberle, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and Taylor Hall. They're called Yak City. And just so we're clear, that's not Yakupov's body. We're talking Photoshop here, but you have to like the effect, and I highly recommend it for everyone on the Hockey Night in Canada crew, including Mark and Kelly.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, he certainly has been a polarizing individual in a week of NHL hockey.
You know, the good thing is he doesn't have to turn this organization around. I think he's in an ideal situation with all their other young stars that they can do it together.
One of 9 first-round draft picks in the Oiler lineup here tonight. Goldmeister along the boards. Plays it off the boards. There's a chance for Iginla. He's got Glencross across to Glencross, and he misses on the chance. Giordano back deep. Curtis Glencross fighting the puck here. Throws it in the corner for Iginla. Iginla controlling it, feathering it along the side of the net into the crease. And Dubnyk will hold on for a whistle.
Well, Jerome Iginla showing a real good burst of speed at the blue line of the Oilers, where there's a puck battle with Nick Schultz, and you're going to see that puck was bouncing a little bit for him, but he's able to break away from Schultz. That's a good stride. That's probably the best I've seen Jerome skate this season. You know, those first 3 strides. Now, again, the puck goes awkwardly in front to Dubnyk, and he's able to corral the puck.
Iginla looking for his first goal of the season. 11 consecutive 30-goal seasons.
That's crazy, isn't it?
There's only 10 other players who've done it, and they're all in the Hall of Fame.
I think he might end up there too, Mark.
He may. Hemsky, a long pass, knocked down by Weidman, gloved by Stajan, turning in his own zone. Regrouping, Weidman to TJ Brodie. This is the second wave on defense that Bob Hartley's trying to create offensively with Weidman and Brodie.
They both move the puck extremely well.
Sam Gagner ahead to Hemsky, too far for him, and Brodie on it quickly. Yuri Hudlik, chip it in the zone. Stajan chasing. Cervenka playing back up by the blue line. Gagner with all kinds of room as Cervenka comes off the wing, leaving Hemsky uncovered. Derek Smith at center ice for Calgary. Nice move around Yakupov. A long shot blocked by Dubnyk and scooped up by Petrie. Jeff Petrie around the boards. It's intercepted by Lee Stempniak. In the corner with it. Backlund looking to return the pass. Stempniak chasing behind the net in the battle with Schmid. Schmid wins that as Petrie headmans the puck to Sam Gagner. Gagner flipping a long shot on goal. The Oilers will get a change. Derek Smith, the undrafted journeyman who won a Calder Cup with the Binghamton Senators 2 years ago, plays it off the boards to Camilleri, who drifts it into the Oilers' zone.
He was very impressive, Mark, in 47 games last year for the Flames.
A great pickup for Calgary. He got a 2-way, 1-year contract a year ago. Now he's got a 2-year, 1-way contract.
Just proves how tough that position of defense is, right? 28 years old, now he's finally getting his chance.
Finally. Payarvi working on the forecheck. Can't bottle up the Flames as Camilleri heads up ice to Brodie, joining the rush now with Lee Stempniak. Stempniak shot, blocker save. The rebound by Backlund goes wide. Michael Backlund pressed along the boards by Ryan Whitney. The puck squirts by Fistrick. Camilleri chasing down Horkoff. Camilleri wins the battle, gets it free to Backlund. Backlund now attacking, shoots, and it's blocked by Ryan Whitney. Whitney ahead to Smith and Horkoff. Back and forth it goes. They'll chip and ting. TJ Brodie winding up in his own zone. Throws the puck back for Weidman. Weidman lined up by Darcy Hordichuk. Here's a turnover. Petrell, it squirts across. Justin Schultz, it's shot right on. And Hordichuk drives the Flame defender Weidman head first in behind Kiprasov. So Darcy Hordichuk making his presence felt in his first shift here in Calgary as he runs roughshod here on the Flames. A 1-0 Calgary lead here in the first period. Darcy Hordichuk, Kelly, is making his first appearance with the Oilers this season, and he's already landed himself in the penalty box. Not unlike his first game last year, but he tried to run Keith Ballard in Vancouver and got hurt.
And he's normally very dependable when he's inserted in the lineup. He rarely does take minor penalties, so that was one that I'm sure he's going to remember, that you can't start taking those penalties when you've just been inserted in the lineup.
So another first period penalty for the Oilers. Their second of the game as Hordichuk was off for cross-checking at 12:22. And Calgary 0 for 1 on the power play. Belanger getting it past Tanguay. He's got Petrell charging to the net shorthanded, and he'll kill some time. Schmid firing it right back in behind the Calgary net.
See, Marcus, on this power play, Flames generate more traffic in front of Dubnyk.
Smith and Horkoff have stepped on the ice now. And the second PK unit for Edmonton. Schmid bouncing it off the boards but can't get it out. Weidman rims it all the way around. Too far for Iginla. Tanguay in deep. Lets it go free to the point. Camilleri chopping it high. It's gloved by Schmid. No hand pass. It must have hit one of the Flames en route as Horkoff gets it deep. Weidman heading back up ice as the Flames try to get set up. Cervenka on this power play with Kudler now and Lee Stepniak. Giordano ahead, knocked away by Nick Schultz. Played by Stepniak to Giordano. Bouwmeester moving the line. Quick shot by Stepniak. He's been very sharp shooting with 2 goals already this season for Calgary. Fistrick loses his stick in a battle with Yuri Hudler. Gagne to help out, firing it around the boards. 30 seconds to go in the Hordichuk penalty as Giordano moves the puck to Bouwmeester. His shot is blocked by Fistrick. Fistrick hammers at the puck, kept in by Bouwmeester. Across to Giordano, his shot, and a blocker saved by Dubnyk with Yuri Hudler camped in front. Giordano can't get it deep. It's cleared to center by Payarvi. In the final 10 seconds now of this Calgary power play. Stepniak chasing Nick Schultz to the corner. He gets there first, gets it back to Giordano. A one-timer set up for Bouwmeester at the circle. Can't take the shot. Now he does. Iginla fires at it. They score!
Well, I'm unsure if this is actually deflected by Jerome Iginla in front of Dubnyk. Bouwmeester gets open on the far side, makes a terrific play right here and throws the puck at the net. And there's Jerome right in front. See what the reaction is from Devin Dubnyk. He definitely thought he had made the save, and it just sneaks through his pads. Matt Stajan in front as well. Can you tell, Mark, if it's deflected?
I think that he took a swing at it, and it was already in. Yep. So Bouwmeester's blast from the point squeaks through the wickets of Dubnyk just as the penalty was ending to Darcy Hordichuk.
Once again, just a wrist shot from the point, too, Mark. It's not that big, heavy slap shot. Just find a way to get him through traffic on net.
Hall turning in the corner ahead of Tanguay. He's knocked away. Now Iginla using his strength on Nugent Hopkins. It's kept in by Hall. A drag move didn't fool Glencross as he breaks it up. Bouwmeester with his first goal of the season from Giordano and Stepniak 3 seconds after the Hordichuk penalty had ended.
And getting the puck on net. I think people recognize Bouwmeester gets a lot of chances, but he has a tendency lately to miss the net.
Tanguay digs the puck up, and now he's paired with Giordano this year. It's, that first wave of defense, offense from defense that Hartley's looking for, and he gets the goal tonight. In front, the pass doesn't get through. Here's another chance for Hemsky. He goes off a stick and squirts wide. Into the corner with it. Out of the corner is Yakupov. Dancing with the puck. Plays it back to the point to Ryan Whitney. A wrist shot. Blocker saved by Kiprusoff. Way out of his crease to make the save. And it comes to center. Yuri Hudler one-on-one with Ryan Whitney. Waiting for support, Hudler does. Throws it along the boards to Cervenka, the KHL star from the Czech Republic. Gagne in a battle with Backlund. He wins that. Yakupov holds off the check from Cervenka. It throws the puck away. Whitney to Hemsky. Doubling back to Fistrick. He'll get it off the glass to center. Gagne leaves it for Hemsky now. Hemsky attacking along the right circle. Leaves it for Ryan Smith. Smith towards the net. Off the skates of Stepniak. Back to Nick Schultz. Looking for a one-timer at the side of the goal. And it just goes past. Back up ice now. It's Stepniak chipping it right into Justin Schultz. Schultz picks up the puck and throws it behind his own net. Nick Schultz up the left side. Payarvi tied up by Camilleri on the back check. Can't get the puck. Ryan Smith feathers it past Brody. In the corner they battle for it. Smith going down. Payarvi hard on the puck along the boards. Smith being pressed along the boards now by Whiteman. And the Flames will get it to center. Brody drifting it back in the zone as Calgary gets a change on the fly. Justin Schultz looking up, no pressure. Ahead to Horcock. Chased down by Bertzi and is fired back in. Dubnik has to come out to clear the puck with Como right there.
Smart play by Devin Dubnik there to get to the puck first.
Schmid behind his own goal line. Ahead on a nice headman pass to Nugent Hopkins into the skates of Taylor Hall. Everly on the circle. A drag move. A shot on the short side and a pad save by Kiprusoff.
Hall showing his speed on that play, didn't he, Mark?
Kids really showing their skills.
Yeah. Straight ahead game. All north-south for Taylor Hall.
Everly dropping it for Nugent Hopkins. Cutting across the line. Caught on the back check by Glencross again. He'll get it off the boards and out. Petrie, the center. Everly still on the ice with Nugent Hopkins as they gain the line. Nugent Hopkins stick handling around Tanguay. Flipping it ahead is knocked out of the air by Giordano, who roughs him up from behind. Aginla back up and across the Edmonton line. Aginla holding the puck on the backhand. Turning up high. Finds Weidman. Wides, fires. Big save. Big rebound. And Nugent Hopkins is there to clear it. Fistrick, a bounce pass too far for Eberle. Bouwmeester back to Weidman, who flips it to the boards in the neutral zone. And a loose puck now at center. Petrell with some speed jumps on it for Edmonton. To the line, fanning on his shot. Tanguay on the loose puck. Can't get it out. Now he does. Cervenka dancing across the line for Calgary. He'll get it deep. Still trying to find his bearings here on the smaller NHL ice.
You know, you can see, though, I like he's not getting greedy, Mark. He's getting the puck deep if there's nothing at the blue line and keeping his game very simple. I'm sure we'll see the skill at some point.
Here they come again. Cervenka with the puck. Ahead to stage it on a backhand. Right on, and a lovely setup from the Czech star from the KHL. It's all Calgary right now. 2-0 on the scoreboard with just over a minute to play in the third. Kiprusoff has made some big saves, and he's had a little help, too.
He gets a little bit of luck right here, Mark. Gagne goes to the front of the net and gets tied up with Kiprusoff, knocks his stick out of his hands, and then as the puck is making its way towards the Calgary net, it hits the stick of Kiprusoff that's laying on the ice.
That looked like it was going in.
It did.
The Weidman blast comes all the way back to the Calgary zone as we reach the final minute of this opening period. A long stretch pass too far for Aginla. He's there first, though. Good hustle. And fires it right through the goal mouth. Back up ice come the Oilers. Yakupov's got Gagne going to the net. His snapshot is blocked by Weidman up into the protective mesh. But we've got some penalties coming behind the play. Maybe just one to Glencross as he goes to the box.
Dubnik right there. There's no question about that. Referee's arm went up immediately, and you can see that Glencross is not happy with that play right there. I'm sure he feels that he was pushed from behind, but nonetheless, it is your duty to try and get out of the way.
It was a train wreck for sure as Glencross goes off for goalie interference at 19-14. Oilers on their first power play. Justin Schultz through traffic and scores!
sure seeing a pattern in the NHL right now, aren't we, Mark? When you get the puck at the point, it doesn't have to be a big slap shot. Just get the puck through, as we talked about earlier. Get traffic in front, and you'll beat even the best of goalies with that. You can see Schultz gets the puck, and he moves away, tries to create that lane. Sean Horkoff in front, but if Schultz doesn't move, then there isn't that lane created. It goes right under the arm of Kiprasov. And those, although they look easy to stop, Mark, they're extremely difficult. Every goaltender will tell you trying to find the puck through traffic is probably your hardest job.
So Justin Schultz on the power play, just seconds into that power play opportunity, 5 seconds in exactly, with his second goal of the season, his second goal in his rookie season. And it's a 2-1 hockey game. Hemsky carries it in offside as Gagne tries to get out of the zone.
I have a feeling with that skill level of his that we're going to see a lot more of those this season. He won't be stuck in two.
No. You know, some people are drawing comparisons. I know it's awfully early. Yep. They say he looks a lot like Scott Niedermayer.
Well, I don't know if I can go there just yet, but I must say that he is a unique talent. There's no question about that, and he does everything well and sees the ice extremely well to go with that skill set.
48 points in Oklahoma City in the American Hockey League was second only to ever lead.
He was leading the league for a long time.
Yeah, he was. He's got a great touch on the puck. Paul bottled up along the boards and goes down on the check from Bouwmeester as Iginla fires it around the net. The Flames opening the scoring with 2 quick ones from Backlund and Bouwmeester, and the power play goal by Justin Schultz makes it a 1-goal game.
Pretty evenly played period, Mark. I thought Edmonton got off to a great start. Calgary came back, pushed back, and then Oilers get that power play goal, in which I'm sure Curtis Glencross is not very happy with that play.
The Flames have the lead 2-1 over the Oilers in period 1 in the opening episode of the Battle of Alberta. Now here's Ron and Don.
Mark, thanks, Connie. You see Curtis Glencross there in the alleyway behind the bench, just that walk out of the box. He knows what that meant.
Boy, I'll tell you something here, Pat Flatley, that just absolutely killed you. Edmonton, they're going to come back. That is, I remember when I coached, when I get scored in that last minute, absolutely kill me.
Okay, a couple of things. Theo Fleury tweeted, I guess, that you were the one, and I remember distinctly, got him for the interview. We were all excited at Northlands Coliseum, and he was interviewed for being the winner.
Well, what I said was, and I think he'd agree now, that you shouldn't do that. If I'm talking to the kids, don't do that. I guess I was a little hard on him anyhow.
He played
that guy, Theodore.
Lots of love there. Okay, Jay Bouwmeester, before the game, you said 2 guys I'd like to kind of key on, Sam Gagne of the Oilers and Jay Bouwmeester, because Bouwmeester, let's face it, a lot of people are on him.
They're always on him, and you know why they're on him? Because he made so much money. That's what happens in the... What, are you going to show me something? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so there she is. What, he goes in there now. Look at this here. And you know why people are against him? Because I said he makes a lot of money. And when you make a lot of money, they expect that if he was making about $1 million, they'd be very, very happy. But he gets there. I'll tell you, it's a good hockey game. It's going to get heated up. Getting that last goal is really going to get tuned. And here he gets a goal. I just happened, as you say, picked him. He's pretty good.
He is green-lighted tonight.
And a lovely skater, no visor. I always like this guy.
His father, Dan, a great start with the University of Alberta Golden Bears, and we touched on that at the start of the night, the great rivalry between the Dinos and the Bears.
Never understood why everybody's on him.
Look at him wheel.
I can hardly hear you, but go ahead.
I know, it is good.
All right, I want to talk about Tanguay.
Yes.
Glencross and Iginla. They've got something going. Watch this nice pass by Glencross. Watch this here. Tanguay, backhand. Leave them together because they've got something going right there, I'll tell you.
This was the one that really may have turned their season. They were outplayed, and when they scored this goal, they got a point out of the night in Vancouver on that amazing pass by Curtis. So, Don, we only have about a minute. A couple of quick things. Maybe it doesn't matter, but lots of teams are interested in Jerome again, understandably, because he's up at the end of the year. What would you do?
Well, everybody loves him. I love him. You can't help loving the guy. You know what I'd do if I was Feaster? I would go till it's not a secret. Go go till you're out of it, and do a Raymond Bourque. The guy is 36 years old. He deserves a Stanley Cup. Keep him till they say if they get out of it. I'm not saying they are. Get him there. Get him traded to he's got to go to a contender, though. That's what he's going to. Great guy. That's what I do.
And the 2003 Stanley Cup playoffs, the Calgary Flames didn't make it that year, but you remember something about the final game of the year.
Well, I remember something. It was unbelievable. I was here. They never made the playoffs. Last game, the crowd went nuts. Give them a standing ovation for missing the playoffs. They did the same thing in Edmonton. Now, I'm here, and I'll say this. I don't have to say it. I'm not afraid. But Edmonton and Calgary fans, Alberta fans, are different than any other place in the world. They never boo the power play. They never boo their teams when they're going bad. They're the best fans in the world, as far as I'm concerned.
Edmonton's got their new rink, and Calgary, they'll get theirs. Okay, we'll take a short break and back to Studio 42 and the crew on Hockey Night in Canada. We're at the Scotiabank Saddledome, where the Flames lead the Oilers by a score of 2-1 after one.
Week number 2 of the 60th season of Hockey Night in Canada rolls along, and we've proudly hung the banner here at Scotiabank Saddledome in Calgary. The Oilers headed into this game hoping that for the first time in 8 or 9 years, the Battle of Alberta may be turning in their favor, but they'll have to play from behind tonight as it's 2-1 Flames heading for the second period. To Mark Lee and Kelly Rudy.
Kelly, you said that the Flames needed to get off to a good start after falling behind so badly in their last 2 games against Anaheim and Vancouver, and they've done that.
Yeah, they sure talked about it this morning a lot, and after the first 2 minutes, they were a much better team first period. Best first period of the year for them.
Loose puck, gobbled up by Nugent Hopkins, fanning on the shot. Tanguay to center. McGinley takes the pass from Glencross, trying to get around Nick Schultz. In behind the net, leaves it for Glencross, who finds Bouwmeester at the point. He bobbles the puck and keeps it in. Giordano at the line, winds, fires, crowd in front, and Dubnyk will hold on for the save.
Well, Bouwmeester and Giordano are starting to learn a little bit more about each other, how to use each other at the points. Spread out apart, so they spread out the Oiler defenders, and in this play, Giordano gets the puck through again. Good shot right here, but it was a bit of a struggle early on for the two of them, but as Don Cherry said, Bouwmeester is having a heck of a game today.
Yeah, and Giordano told us this morning, he said our job is to add offense, but also shut down the other team's top line. So it's a big job and some heavy minutes for these guys. Last year, Bouwmeester was paired with Chris Butler as the shot-down pair.
Yeah, I like this. Go with 2 top guys, and you know what? So far in this game, anyways, it's really worked well for them.
Yakupov couldn't corral the puck. Oilers regained possession. Schmid backpedaling up the right side. A pass that Hemsky let go. He had his head down. Hudler ties up with Yakupov, who takes the pass from Gagne. Yakupov to the high slot. Back to Gagne. Backhand. And a save by Kiprusoff. Schmid in deep pinching. Puck comes out of the corner. Yakupov has it. Glance off a stick to Gagne. A shot in front off a stick. And more traffic as Kiprusoff keeps it away. TJ Brodie will get it deep. Both teams changing on the fly in the first minute and a half here of the second period. Calgary tested by the Oilers as they come back with Smith and a long shot that was sailing wide and gloved by Kiprusoff.
Well, everybody thinks of Yakupov as just an offensive guy, but this chance is created right here with Yakupov going right to Yuri Hudler, creating the turnover with Gagne. Great move to the middle with Yakupov back to Gagne again, and the Oilers get an excellent chance early on. So here's that hit once again. Good clean hit by Yakupov, and he's solidly built, I can tell you that much.
Doesn't look too worried. Being back in the building for the first time where he blew on his knee in the overtime gold medal final loss to Sweden.
Probably not his best memory.
No, probably not. But a big hit there as Smith is taken down by Derek Smith. Off the boards comes Camilleri with some jump. Backlund joining the rush after getting a stick off the bench. Camilleri in front. It goes off a skate and just wide. Stepniak chips it free. Camilleri battling along the boards, turning away from the check from Big Mark Fistrick. Now Horcoff has it tied up. It comes free. Backlund to the point. Giordano fires off the stick on the block by Payarvi up high. Stepniak hit hard and down he goes on the shot from Fistrick. Horcoff tying up with Camilleri. The puck comes back to Giordano. He fires it wide. Payarby broke his stick. He's all up front without a stick now. And Stepniak fires the puck off the stick to Whitney and out of play.
Well, young Nail Yakupov is in pretty good company here when you look at the draft record with some of the guys that he was drafted with, the great Russians that we have in our game. And boy, I'll tell you, they are some of the smoothest skaters I've ever seen. And first pick overall, Ilya Kovalchuk, Alex Ovechkin, and now Nail Yakupov.
And Ralph Kruger was saying, they're really working with these young guys, Yakupov included, trying to teach them to play away from the puck.
And they really feel the environment that they have created in the organization is going to help him on and off the ice.
Flip shot tipped by Jones. The rebound was right there, and he couldn't finish with a gaping Oiler net. Now Berchi tries to come out from behind the net. Checked by Justin Schultz. Petrell off the glass to center ice. Blair Jones tried to get it deep. It was blocked by Leonard Petrell, and it bounces all the way back in deep behind the Flame goal. Headman pass broken up in the neutral zone by Schmid. It comes free, a 2-on-1. Jones with Sven Berchi. He couldn't get the pass through. And a big play by Petrie. Back up ice now is Eberle. Waiting for help. Drops the puck now for Nugent Hopkins. He fires a high wrister and gloved by Kiprusoff. That nearly had him handcuffed.
Boy, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has an exceptionally deceptive release. It doesn't look as though he's going to get a lot on the shot, but I go back to the goal he scored last year in Edmonton against Henrik Lundqvist, and he beat him easily on this one. He pulls it into his feet. You see that Kiprusoff was almost a little bit surprised he had made that save.
Little drag, little move before he released it. That's what Kruger was saying. He's got so many different shooters. He's got Yakupov with the one-timer. He's got Hall, who shoots off the rush. And he's got that deceptive shot-making of Nugent Hopkins back to help out in his own zone. Throws the puck ahead to center. Now Hall with some speed. Tries to go through the Flame defense. No chance there between Bouwmeester and Giordano. Tanguay on the puck, headman into Iginla. Iginla storming up ice, setting up at the circle. Looking to go across the goal. Oh, but no! They score! Glenn Cross! On a beautiful setup! Curtis Glencross with his third goal of the season.
Jerome McGinley is having his best game by far of this regular season. He does all the work on this. He waits and waits and waits, creates space away from Schmid, and finds an open Glencross on this play. But if Jerome didn't have that patience, there's not a chance that Glencross could find himself open again. And again, Curtis Glencross, that's his third goal of the season, so he got a terrific start. 2 on deflections, that one just easy bang that one in the open net.
Glencross from Iginla and Tanguay at 3:59, and the Flames reestablish their 2-goal lead. At the Calgary line, Hudler rink wide for Cervenka. Fister has him boxed along the board. Cervenka back on the puck, feeds it along the boards to Stajan. Now Fistrick on him. Stajan gets it back to Hudler. Cervenka in behind the Oiler net. Gagne takes him down. The 2 Czechs go after it. Hudler centering pass for Stajan, and he can't get the shot away. Big defensive play there by Hemsky. Hudler goes down behind the net on the hit from Whitney. Centering pass in front. Fanning on it is Cervenka. A delayed penalty coming to Edmonton. Here's Tanguay with a shot that deflects just wide. Hudler with a deke on Whitney. Holding the puck along the boards. Feathers it back to Saric. Saric along the line. Kept in by Smith. Hudler back to Corey Saric. To the circle now. At the high point. Here comes Smith in front. And finally the Oilers break it up.
Boy, if there's an example of keep your feet moving and you're going to create not only scoring opportunities, going to make it extremely difficult defensively. That's why Ryan Whitney on this play is going to take the penalty behind the net on Hudler. This is just a great example of keep your feet moving again, and it's awfully difficult when you're chasing guys as quick as Hudler, Cervenka, and on this shift, Stajan on the line as well. That is a prime example of what you should show kids of how to keep your feet moving.
So Hudler draws the tripping penalty from Whitney at 5:07. And one-timer Tanguay whistles that one high and wide. Again along the board. Petrie breaks it up. Belanger outlets to Petrella. He'll drift it down the ice. Calgary 0 for 2 with the man advantage so far tonight. Dennis Weidman to center. Tanguay dropping it back for Camilleri. Camilleri leaving it along the line. Calgary having trouble entering the zone. Now they do. Ginland, hemmed in. Gets a bounce pass behind the net. Camilleri looking for Glencross. He was open. The puck is still loose. A scramble in front. Smee bats it away with his hand, and it's cleared down the ice.
And that's a key, too, Mark, to say bats it away because he didn't cover or palm the puck. We've seen a lot of, I think, 7 times already this season.
Yeah, he got called for it Thursday night, too. Here's another chance for Glencross. Camilleri, a one-timer, and that whistles wide. Horkoff headmans to Ryan Smith, then jumps into the rush shorthanded. Stick check from Weidman. The puck comes to Camilleri, and he doubles it back. Weidman looking for that long pass to Ginland, banned on it, and then Glencross couldn't handle it. Weidman again, circling at center ice. Flames trying to get organized here. And now they do. Here's a chance now for Yuri Hudler. He fires a slap shot right into the blocker of Dubnyk.
Well, it hasn't been the best start for Mike Camilleri. He loves playing here in Calgary. We know he's a great goal scorer. He gets an opportunity here. And what we don't see often from Mike Camilleri is a shot wide. That's what happened on that one. And we take a look at the numbers. We know that he's a shoot-first guy. Loves to get shots on net. Usually averages somewhere 8 or 9 a game. You can see in the first 3 games he's only at 3 shots. And all 3 of those came in his last game versus Vancouver.
Got the Bobby Clark chicklets now. No shots for Camilleri so far tonight, Kelly. There's Bouwmeester with a blast that goes wide. Justin Schultz trying to work it along the boards, getting some help from Belanger. Gloved by Stepniak. Gets it back to Giordano. His wrist shot is stopped by Dubnyk. And the Oilers will get it out with 15 seconds to go. With a tripping call to Whitney. One last rush with the man advantage for Calgary. Stepniak to the right wing. Cervenka setting up. Back to the point with it. Bouwmeester rink wide. Giordano at the circle. A wrist shot in front. Hudler trying to find his Czech compatriot. And it's broken up on the goalmouth pass. Whitney back on the ice. 2 shots on goal for Calgary in the power play. Bouwmeester, a bounce pass. Here's Glencross attacking, firing, and a save again by Dubnyk. Out to cut the angle. The Flames all offense in a 3-1 lead here in the second period.
Well, Kelly's already noted that this is Jarome Iginla's best game of the young season, and Sam Gagner is in the heart of the Battle of Alberta. But 15 years ago, when his father Dave played in Calgary centering a hot young rookie named Jarome Iginla, Sam was more concerned about getting Iginla's autograph. Here's 7-year-old Sam Gagner thrilled to meet Iginla. Little could he have known that one day he and Iginla would be foes in the Alberta rivalry, but that's been the case for half a dozen years now.
Well, great players just seem to grasp the importance of certain games, and that's the case tonight with Jarome Iginla. He by far is their best forward.
Sam Gagner going directly as an 18-year-old first-round pick, right out of junior with the London Knights, right into the NHL. Tanguay, his pass broken up. Iginla bottled up by Petrie, but Glencross on the loose puck. Giordano at the line. He fans on the shot, manages to keep it in as he keeps Eberle at bay. They're saying it came out.
They're giving him a penalty mark.
It looks like Giordano's getting a penalty as he held Eberle at bay. I think he was just trying to play the puck.
I think he is just stronger on the puck than Eberle on this play. He fans on it right here. Eberle's going for it, and you know what? That's just a puck that he's competing with Eberle for.
Much stronger on the stick there.
Yeah.
Wow. So Giordano is off for tripping at 7:46. And the Oilers 1 for 1 on the power play. And the Justin Schultz goal in the last minute of the opening period.
Guess who's on the ice?
Yeah, guess who's got the puck. Justin Schultz carrying it to center. Dropping it back for Nugent Hopkins to Taylor Hall. Rink-wide pass lands on Eberle's stick. Finds Nugent Hopkins at the half boards. Throws it in behind the Calgary net. Pinching is Schultz. Gets it to Horkoff. Horkoff keeps it going. Nugent-Hopkins back to the point with it. Eberle settles the puck, finds Nugent-Hopkins into the corner for Hall to Nugent-Hopkins. Nugent-Hopkins at the circle. A saucer pass to Justin Schultz to Eberle at the left circle. Eberle looking for an opening. Back to the point. Schultz to Eberle. His shot. Blocker save on the short side by Kiprusoff. Hall kicks it along the board. Scooped up by the captain Horkoff. Justin Schultz back to the circle. Here comes Eberle attacking the net. To the slot and scores! Jordan Eberle with a gorgeous goal. A second power play marker for Edmonton.
Jordan Schultz again starts us back at the point, again moving and trying to find the lanes, and then Eberle with the little hitch right here fools Kiprusoff, and then with that really quick release he has, fires it on net, and scoring in the same position basically where Schultz had scored in the first, between the arm and the chest of Kiprusoff. Those are the ones goaltenders hate, the ones that you say that they've gone through the body. You see that clearly.
Yeah, it looked like Kiprusoff in the last second was like trying to find the puck.
Yep.
But it's Justin Schultz setting up Eberle. Horkoff also in on the assist. And Eberle with his second goal of the young season. The second power play marker tonight for the Oilers.
2 for 2, right, Mark?
2 for 2 on the power play.
The Lanes better be aware of that.
Down low, Schmid goes behind his net to his partner, Petrie. His pass a little too far. Schmid turning back. A one-goal hockey game. Midway here in the second period. Gagne holding off Backlund. Gets it deep again. Yakupov charging. He'll hold up. Weidman is there. His clearing attempt glances off Hemsky's stick and goes out of play. Well, presenting the Hockey Night second screen using a laptop, tablet, or smartphone. Participate in trivia, polls, and games. Interact and compete for cash prizes and be a part of our broadcast. Engage with us at cbcsports.ca/second screen. Belanger loses the draw to Blair Jones as Derek Smith headmans to Sven Barchi. A nice move around Ryan Whitney on the right wing. Blake Como gets it off the glass. Belanger takes Jones hard into the boards as they were racing for the puck, and now some pushing and shoving after the whistle.
This is a big learning game for Sven Barchi. He only played 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes in the first period. This is one of those, one of those moments where you got to just find a way to get the best out of yourself. See the collision off to the side of Dubnyk. Two big, strong men going at it right there. I can tell you that much.
Eric Belanger coming back on the back check. Terrific game of the faceoff circle against Los Angeles, winning that draw with seconds to go that led to the Yakupov tying goal.
Yeah, he's a faceoff specialist. And
look at a penalty here, Kelly, behind the play, and it looks like bad blood after that exchange between Belanger and Jones.
Number 20, they're both for slashing.
So slashing calls to Belanger and Jones as they carried on after that collision in the Oilers' zone. And now they're having words in the box.
Good. I like when it heats up like this. This is what the Battle of Alberta should be, isn't it?
Sure is.
Yeah.
I was talking to Ryan Smith about that, saying it's heating up. The first Battle of Alberta this year. He said, well, we haven't seen a lot of the blood we saw in the old days, but look out.
Still, temper's right there in the middle, flaring.
So Nick Schultz will turn up ice. Lots of ice out there for some 4-on-4 hockey. See if the young Oilers can take advantage of it. Justin Schultz back to Nugent-Hopkins. He comes swiftly off the boards. His first shot just wide.
Or the experienced Flames with Tanguay and Iginla.
There you go. We'll see what prevails. Bouwmeester with those great legs jumps on the puck for Calgary. Headmans to Iginla. He knocks it out of the air. Bouwmeester going to the net, but Iginla's pass is too high. Justin Schultz chips it ahead to Eberle. He's all by himself. Now, here comes Nugent-Hopkins on the backhand. Eberle with that deadly backhand. We saw him beat Luongo in Vancouver last week with one of those. But misses wide. Another stretch for Iginla from Tanguay. Iginla holding off Nick Schultz, turning at the boards. Feathering it back to Camilleri. Plays it to the open point. and it's kept in by Brody. Justin Schultz, no pressure, will head man to Horkoff. The Edmonton captain across the line, stick handling, checked by Wideman, back come the Flames now. Little river hockey, back and forth, the pass in behind Glencross, he was onside. Whitman, in his own end, shadowed by Glencross. Petrie, stretch pass to Taylor Hall. Hall gets on his horse now, charging the Calgary line, a drag pass, didn't fool Brody. Wideman, ahead to Brody, he'll jump the rush now with Camilleri and Glencross. TJ Brody going wide on Petrie, on the puck still. Dropping it now, picked off by Whitney, throwing it to the boards. Glencross is there for Calgary, to Camilleri, to the point, Bolmeister, rink wide for Brody. TJ Brody, a bounce pass in behind the Oiler net. Chasing now is Glencross, pinching is Bolmeister. Hall on it first, cutting in front of his own goal. Got to be tired at the end of this shift. He'll turn back as Gagne gets on the ice. With fresh legs, he'll leave it for Gagne and head for a change. Justin Schultz has got something left. A long pass to Belanger. Tipping it as he gets out of the penalty box. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. Blair Jones standing on the dump in. It goes to Hoodler. Backhand chance by Jones. Oh, what a save by Dubnyk. Getting the blocker up on the backhand.
Jones showed a lot of quickness there, didn't he, Mark, jumping right into the slot?
Right into the fray out of the penalty box. McGinley comes off the board. The puck comes to Gagne. Holding off his mentor, his protege. Saric now throwing it towards the net is broken up by Gagne. Back come the Oilers. Hemsky on the right wing, dropping it for Gagne. Yakupov going to the high slot, and the puck goes off the stick and out of play. Flames holding on to a one-goal lead here in Calgary. On second look, Blair Jones came a lot closer to scoring than we thought.
Yeah, Hoodler throws it in front, hits the back of Hemsky's skate, goes right to the slot, and Jones with that backhand right off the crossbar, that could have made a 4-2 game again.
And then off the back of Dubnyk's skate.
Those are the ones, as you know, Mark, can be awfully dangerous, because typically when they hit the goaltender, we've seen a lot of those go back into the net.
Ryan Smith finds Horkoff to the point. Petrie, a quick shot that goes wide. Payarvi roughhoused in front of the Flame net. Cervenka heading up ice. 2 years ago, he led the KHL in goal scoring with 31. But he got an offside call at the Oiler line. Chance to remind you, tomorrow, the Dragons get schooled in the den. And then a ransom drop goes bad on an all-new Doyle. It all starts tomorrow at 8 on CBC TV.
Well, we saw a little flash of Roman Cervenka's skill level, didn't we there? Although it was an offside, but he was dangling a little bit for the first time tonight.
It's got to feel awfully foreign here. He's had one full practice with this team with Stajan and Hoodler, his Czech compatriot. And then a morning skate today. Here's another penalty coming to Nugent Hopkins as he's tied up Tanguay on the dump-in. And it's going to be an interference call to Nugent Hopkins.
Looked to me as though Alex Tanguay had a step on Nugent Hopkins. I don't think he felt he had any choice at that time to interfere with Tanguay. You say, take a look at the play. Jerome just flips it into the zone. And there Tanguay clearly had a step on him, and Nugent Hopkins in desperation takes a penalty.
So the Flames, who are 0 for 3 on the power play tonight, get the man advantage with Nugent Hopkins in the box for interference at 13:02. Calgary holding a one-goal lead in a 3-2 hockey game. Fistrick broke his stick. Fanning is Camilleri. Here's a Gimla with a chance. Loose puck again for Camilleri. And Fistrick could do nothing about it because his stick is shattered behind the play.
Well, it all started behind the Edmonton net. There was a poor clearing attempt. The puck came right out in front, and a bouncing puck, and then you're going to see everybody head to the front of the net. Jerome spins, and Dubnyk with a terrific save. Those are awfully difficult when you're trying to find the puck in the first place, and then a quick turnaround by Jerome McGinley.
Gimla still looking for his first goal of the season, as is Camilleri. Moving to the center spot. Flames had 9 people take face-offs in the first period.
Yeah, you don't see that very often in a game.
Glenn Cross takes a shot from behind as Schmid is all over him. But the Flames maintain possession. Weidman along the boards with Camilleri, and a hand pass is called in the Oilers' zone.
You know, it seems as though this is a different setup for Mike Camilleri. Typically, he's a trigger man in these cases, and he wants that puck. We know, as I said before, he likes to get about 8 or 9 shots on goal a game, which all good goal scorers do. They just know it's a number of odds if you get that many chances.
And Kelly, he still hasn't got a shot tonight. He went 2.5 games before he got his first shot this season.
And he's aware of it because he talked about it before the Vancouver game.
Yeah. Weidman at the line to the circle. Iginla moving back now. Wines fires right through traffic in a pad save by Dubnyk. And it's hammered down the ice by Jeff Petrie. Oilers get fresh legs on their penalty kill. Weidman, a stretch pass at the line. Hudler chipping it wide to the right wing. Iginla takes the puck off Nick Schultz. Pass to Tanguay. He can't get it deep. He's checked by Horcoff. Here's a 2-on-2 with Ryan Smith. Horcoff will drift it slowly into the Calgary zone. Weidman again. Headmans to Chervenka. He's got Hudler on the right side. Hudler coming off that career-high 25 goals last year with Detroit. Stepniak fires it into the official's skate, trying to get it back to the point, and the fans here grousing about that.
Hudler's been all over the puck tonight, Mark. He's very aware of what's going on with all his teammates.
Bob Hartley was concerned because when he went home for the death of his father, he hadn't been on the ice at all and been away for over a week. Stepniak back to Hudler. Pass rink wide. He finds Bouwmeester. Bouwmeester in front. Tip. They score. Stepniak buries it for the Flames. Lee Stepniak with a power play goal. His 3rd goal of the season.
What a ridiculous setup by Yuri Hudler, showing great patience and going right through the slot, tape to Bouwmeester, and Bouwmeester finding Stepniak in front. Again, a perfect target by Stepniak. He's done that well this year, and making it an easy pass for Bouwmeester to find the stick, and then up and over Devan Dubnyk.
Lee Stepniak is known as a streaky goal scorer, and he's on one of those streaks to start this season.
I'd say in the first 3 games, Mark, he was by far the best scorer for the Flames this year.
And that's why he's on the power play. Yep. So the power play marker from Stepniak, from Bouwmeester and Hudler. His first point as a Flame at 14:57. And again, Calgary out front by 2. Gagne turning back away from Blake Promo. Leaves it for Justin Schultz. He goes back up to Gagne in the right wing. To the left side, Dale Yakupov to center. Slaloming his way in. A stick check from Berchi. Yakupov picking it back up. Now a long pass for Gagne, who tips it in the Calgary zone. And we've got another penalty coming here. A slashing call. We'll sort it out when we come back. Scotiabank Saddledome on Hockey Night in Canada.
Blake Comeau's in the penalty box for a slashing penalty. It's subtle, but it is accurate on the hand, right in the hands, right there on Yakupov. Now, Nail Yakupov is an interesting young player, great skill, but sometimes a little less is more. In this case, he's trying to be a little bit too fancy at the Flames blue line. At that point, use a teammate or get the puck deep, but that's all part of the learning curve, and I'm sure the Oilers feel that they can work that out of him.
Yeah, that slash is part of the closer scrutiny the league is giving to those taps near the glove area to dislodge a puck carrier from the puck. And so the Oilers, who are 2 for 2 on the power play tonight, go back to work. Schultz to Nugent Hopkins in the corner. Eberle checked by Giordano, but Nugent Hopkins is quick on the puck. Eberle to Nugent Hopkins. It comes free to Taylor Hall. Hall turning at the boards. Feeds the point. Justin Schultz to the left side. Eberle back to Schultz. Leaving it now for Nugent Hopkins. A snapshot that bounces through traffic and wide. In the corner, Nugent Hopkins comes up with the puck. Back to Schultz. His pass, his shot rather, hitting Horcoff in front. Now he knocks a Flame down in front. He takes Giordano down, and the Edmonton captain's going to the penalty box. There's the end of the power play.
Well, the collision right in front of Mika Kiprasov, and Kiprasov has faced a lot of traffic, a lot of incidental collisions in the last 2 games. This one, it was with Giordano and Horkoff to the left of Kiprasov, but I'm sure the referees are aware of all the traffic that Kiprasov has been facing, and I'm sure he's talking to him a lot. That was right to his left, and the official had no choice but to call Horkoff on the interference.
Yeah, goaltender interference is the call against Horkoff. So they're back to 4-on-4 with 3:46 to go here in the second period. TJ Brody for Whiteman. Back to Brody. It gets over his stick and out. He's got to tip it in, and the Flames will clear the zone. Justin Schultz winding up the left wing. Gagne, his pass into the skates of Hemsky, and the Oilers put themselves offside. Don't forget Hockey Day in Canada coming up in just 2 weeks. This year we host from Ontario and the Peterborough Lift Lock along the Trent Severn Waterway. The Peterborough Memorial Arena is also home. The Peterborough Petes, please join us at noon Eastern as all 7 Canadian teams will be in action February 9th on Hockey Day in Canada.
Home of our friend Greg Millen, right, Mark?
Indeed, and he's all excited to be playing host to Hockey Day.
Yeah.
Just hoping the weather holds in that lift lock freezes.
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
Open water doesn't work. Again, a stick handling inside the zone. He lets a snapshot go, and Dubnyk saw that all the way.
Bob Hartley obviously trusts Jarome Iginla and Alex Tanguay together in these situations. That's the second time 4-on-4 that he's thrown those two out there. Bob has been awfully patient and positive with this team, even though they don't have their first win of the season. But every day it seems as though Bob is finding reasons to compliment this group, and yeah, hopefully that tack works.
Says he's trying to build a new culture, one in which his players come to the rink with a smile on their face, and looking for his first win as head coach of the Calgary Flames. Camilleri turning in his own zone at center. He'll play it off the boards to Glencross, and Camilleri will have to come back out and tag up. Jarome Iginla is a +2 hockey player tonight. Really good effort here at home ice with 3 shots so far. Glencross in front for Bouwmeester. It's on the pad of Dubnyk as he quickly covers up as Bouwmeester goes in deep, venturing once again.
Once again, as Don Cherry is saying, Bouwmeester is having a heck of a game right here with a perfect pass up to Camilleri. Almost loses it right here, but Glencross comes in again with Bouwmeester joining the rush right in front. He gets maybe his best chance from the slot. He scored, I know, but that was from the point, and although it was more of a screenshot. Tonight, Bouwmeester is a goal and assist, and he's +3 already.
Came into the game a -4, so that's a real turnaround for him.
Yeah, he's been excellent defensively, too. Forget about the points.
Yep. Giordano along the boards. Yuri Hudler holding it up at the line. Down low for his teammate, Chervenka. Back to Weidman. Pass just kept in by Giordano. At the circle. Iginla gets it free. Chervenka battling for it. It is knocked away by Nick Schultz. Justin Schultz, physical along the boards. Chervenka backhands it to the net. It comes right back to him. Roman Chervenka to the point. Weidman winds, fires. Looks like a blocker save through traffic by Dubnyk. Hudler lets it go around the boards to Chervenka. Takes a weird hop off a stanchion, and it's cleared down the ice. Horkoff back on the ice. So a brief Flame power play is over. 1:40 to go here in the second period. One shot on goal for the Flames on that power play.
Chervenka looking a lot more comfortable every shift, isn't he now, Mark?
He sure is.
Yep. Holding on to the puck now, trying to make plays. It's good to see.
You know, a couple of years ago in Avangard Omsk in the KHL, when he scored those 31 goals, playing on a line with Jaromir Jagr. Camilleri scoops up the puck, feeds it to Stepniak, who fans. Bouwmeester in front again, looking for Stepniak. It goes off. Petrie's skate just wide. Bouwmeester's playing all the angles here tonight.
There's 1 minute remaining in the second period.
Final minute of play here in the second period as the Oilers head up ice. Ryan Whitney Ahead to Taylor Hall, trying to get around Saric, who plays the body and holds him off. The puck comes right back to Hall. Nugent Hopkins comes off the boards, leaves it for Eberle, attacking the net again in front. Oh, a great dish! And Justin Schultz just had it pop over his stick at the back door. Saric off the glass. The Oilers pressing with a golden opportunity there with some more sleight of hand passage.
Well, Mike Camilleri doesn't have a goal this season for the Calgary Flames, but I can tell you what, he just stopped one by the Edmonton Oilers. That was a clear goal, if not for excellent diving defensive play by Camilleri.
Mark Giordano will touch, icing the call against Edmonton with 15.9 seconds to go here in the period.
Oilers are great at moving the puck down low, finding the open man, but right there is a play by Camilleri diving, knowing that the Oilers love cross-crease passes, and that's only because of great scouting that you know the Oilers are in love with that play.
From the point, Weidman's shot gets to the slot, but not any deeper, and it's cleared by the Oilers here in the waning seconds. Weidman can't get it past Hemsky. Now he'll haul it out to center as the horn sounds to end the second period. Glenn Cross and Stempniak with their third goals apiece this early season for Calgary. Eberle with his second for Edmonton. It's 4-2 Flames after 40 minutes. We're all set for the third period here. Opening salvo of the Battle of Alberta. The Flames really controlling that second period, outshooting the Oilers 13-4. Kelly outscoring them 2-1 on the score sheet, winning the face-off battle, scoring chances battle, and they've got a 2-goal lead here to start the third period. More grit and determination by the Flames than the Oilers in that second period. It was clearly evident. It's the grizzled veterans, too, that have stepped to the fore. The likes of McGinley, Bouwmeester, Stempniak. They've all been well accounted for in this hockey game against the Young Turks from Edmonton as Eberle heads to center with the puck. He loses his edge at the line. McGinley turns it over to Taylor Hall, turning at center ice. He'll drop it for Petrie, who steps off the bench. Nugent Hopkins breaks his stick as he tips it in the Flame zone and heads to the bench for a change. Skill's a great thing, but it has to come with the same sort of competitiveness as the other team. This Oilers team so young and so skilled, as you mentioned, Kelly. But after beating the President's Trophy winning Canucks in Game 1, they laid an egg against San Jose, then came back and in incredible fashion, that overtime win over the Stanley Cup champion LA Kings on Thursday, and here they're down 2 again. To win consistently, it's hard work, and that's what they're still in the process of learning. Hemsky picks up the loose puck, gains the line. He's got Yakupov. Hemsky with a drag in front. Oh, a great move laterally in front of Kiprusoff, but then lost control of the puck. Whitney can't keep it in at the line. Mark Fistrick bounce pass ahead to Yakupov. He'll throw it all the way back in his zone as he's called on the line change. Mark Fistrick, former Dallas Star, ahead to Horkoff. It rolled over his stick and Camilleri enters the zone. Fistrick has him off balance and picks up the loose puck. Ryan Whitney up the left side. Smith to center. Hayarvi chipping and chasing now behind Derek Smith. Smith rams him into the boards. Smith looking to pick up the puck for Edmonton, and he does. Derek Smith has broken his stick. Ryan Smith the line. Justin Schultz rink wide for Nick Schultz. Gets it deep again behind the Flames goal. Ryan Smith feathering it right onto the stick of Stempniak, and he'll get it down the ice. I like the push by the Oilers right now. Puck possession, they're going to the net. Sense of urgency to start this third period. Firing it in deep, but it's an icing call against Edmonton in the opening 2.5 here in the third. Well, skilled forwards know when they have a defenseman flat-footed, and that's what happens in this case with Hemsky. Dennis Weidman's a little bit flat-footed on that, and he knew at that very moment when he pulled the puck to the back end that he had Weidman wide on this play, and then he drives to the front of the net. Excellent play by Hemsky. Hemsky's had a strong start to this season. Ralph Kruger was saying he had to change his mindset going from preparing for the playoffs in Europe to starting a brand new season here in the NHL.
2 years since he's been healthy as well.
Yeah, he finally had a good offseason to train hard after having both his left and right shoulders operated on in successive seasons.
You know, the thing about Hemsky, too, he's got great skill, but he plays awfully hard. You think of the legendary battles in this Battle of Alberta that he and Robin Regier had. So he's not a guy that you can knock off his game just with physical play.
Eberle dangling with the puck to the backhand, leaves it for Petrie. Petrie cutting to the net on the backhand and blocked by Bouwmeester. Another great play on a golden night for him. Chase for the puck now as Schmid gets there first, and it's an icing call against Calgary. Let's go downstairs and rejoin Scott.
Okay, Mark. Well, Ron McLean mentioned earlier that he'd run into Jordan Eberle's parents here at Scotiabank Saddledome tonight, and there they are, Darren and Lisa. They live in the Calgary area, and they're proud parents of their boy who has his second of the season tonight. They would definitely be in the minority in this sea of red as they're cheering for the Oilers.
Eberle wearing the A as one of the new assistant captains on this Oiler team, joining Taylor Hall as they succeed Hemsky and Whitney in that role. A bit of a passing of the torch, a changing of the guard in terms of at least the demonstrated leadership.
I still think Horcoff is a great captain for this group right now.
Yeah.
You know, you think back to those great Oiler dynasties that they were building in the 70s and 80s, and two captains that come to mind were Al Hamilton and Lee Fogelin, and Gretzky and Messier and those guys talk about their leadership and not handing over the torch too quickly.
Hemsky again, leading it for Gagne. The backhand pass is blocked by Weidman. The Flames can't get it out. Yakupov pouncing on it in the high slot, going wide, fires it. It's blocked by Weidman. Another block by him on this shift. The pass in front from Gagne sails right onto the stick of Chervenka. He leaves it for Hudler. Hudler back to Chervenka. Fires it off the leg of Hudler and just wide. Yuri Hudler holding on to the puck. Plays it in deep for Matt Stajan. Stajan pressed along the boards by Mark Fistrick. Whitney keeps it coming. Gagne, a nice move on Hudler, and he'll carry it out to center for Edmonton. Backhanding it into the corner. Brody turns. It's an icing call as he didn't get across the red line. And a face-off coming back into the Edmonton zone.
Well, everybody recognizes the importance Mika Kiprusoff has with this Flames organization. Do anything to throw him off a little bit. Hemsky throwing snow into the eyes of Kiprusoff. He protests to the officials, and I can tell you what, everybody knows that Kiprusoff, if you can see it, he's going to stop it. So they have to try and bump him, do little things to try and see if they can't annoy him a little bit.
Back on Hemsky last year when he was struggling, he kind of developed a bit of a pout, and he'd become a support player behind the young stars of Eberle, Hall, Nugent Hopkins. And he has a new deal, new 2-year deal with Edmonton, and he's come back with gusto this year.
I agree. It looked as though at times last year where he felt like he didn't really fit in with this young group.
Right. And losing minutes. In behind the net now. Backlund to the corner. He's had his minutes cut back in this game by Hartley. It's flipped in the zone by Pariarvi right on goal, and Kiprusoff will hold on for a whistle.
Well, Bob Hartley is the kind of guy, though, with this lead that I know that he has in the past really relied upon his veterans heavily. And in this situation, when you don't have a win yet this season, you have a 4-2 lead with 15 minutes to go in the third period. That seems to make a lot of sense to me as well.
He said he's still getting to know his players.
Yep.
He's had face-to-face meetings. He's talked to them on the phone for a new coach with a week to get ready and put his system. It's tough. It's, as we say, taking a drink from a fire hose tough.
And you don't know how they'll react in certain situations, so he's just learning that.
Blake Como sweeping around the net, back to Weidman, who had already cocked and fired. There's Berchi in front, chipping away is Blair Jones as he goes hard into the net. And a great scoring chance that just missed for Calgary. Jones chasing the puck, takes a run at Justin Schultz. The other way comes Nick Schultz, out behind the net and away from Berchi. Ahead, Belanger to the right side. Petrell backhanding it back right in front. And Jones clears it just in the nick of time. He'll send it down the ice and head for a change. Ladislav Schmid settles the puck. Stick handling away from Glenn Cross to center. Around Tanguay and gets it deep again. Kiprusoff leaves it for Giordano. A bounce pass right off the boards to Iginla. He bounces it ahead to Glenn Cross. In behind Petrie. Glenn Cross tries to center. Stick down. Breaking up the play is Sneed. Tanguay to the line, and it gets away from Bouwmeester. He's got to backtrack to center. He'll chip it back in for the Flames. Dubnik. Backhands it for Petrie. Ahead to Eberle. Feathering it across to Hall. Hall gains the line. Dumps it to the corner for Nugent Hopkins. His pass off the leg of Derek Smith, and the Flames recover. Kluger back to Iginla. Iginla turning at the line. Holding up, trying to fire it through to the slot. Blocked by Fistrick. Fistrick bottling up Iginla. He gets the puck free to Stajan. Stajan, Hoodler, and Iginla on the ice. Iginla with big ice time in this game tonight. Saric in behind the net for Yuri Hoodler. Hoodler still holding on to the puck. Warding off Fistrick now. Plays it back for Stajan. Stajan in the corner. Trying to get away from Whitney. Whitney takes him off the puck into the boards. And Hall pounces on it for Eberle. Eberle stick checked on the play by Derek Smith.
You can tell Hoodler comes from the Detroit organization, can't you, Mark? He does not give that puck away very easily. When it's on his stick, it's his, and he won't give it up unless he feels that there's a good play to be made.
That shot from Backlund whistles just wide. It comes all the way to Smith at center. Sent back up ice by Weidman as Dubnik comes out of his own net. He'll steady the puck and leave it. Nick Schultz drops it off. Belanger's pass is broken up by Lee Stepniak. Stepniak's backhand intercepted in front. Stepniak picked it up again and nearly deposited it behind Dubnik.
That's that streaky thing you were talking about.
And he's drawn a penalty. Yep. Stepniak going hard to the Oiler net. Has drawn a penalty as Belanger heads to the penalty box. Flames on the power play when we come back to Calgary. Eric Belanger is in the box for holding on the penalty drawn by Lee Stempniak.
I'll start on this poor giveaway, Mark. He's not known for that. Typically a great defensive player and feels as though he has to take away that scoring chance. And so he gets his arm out and takes a holding penalty.
Stempniak, a goal and an assist tonight. That's his third goal of the young season on a streaky start for him. Ryan Smith fires it off the stick of Giordano into the glass. Calgary 1 for 5 on the power play so far tonight. And that was Stempniak's power play marker in the second period. Weidman gains the line. Pass off a skate. Right to Iginla. Back to Giordano. Iginla on the circle. Around the boards for Glenn Cross. He leaves it. It's picked off and sent down the ice by Petrie.
Very aggressive, Petrie, you might add. That was an excellent penalty killing, knowing when the opportunity was there to attack.
Well, Ralph Kruger was saying something clicked about halfway through last season with him.
Absolutely. When he was paired with Schmid to be the shutdown pair, and boy, did he ever take that responsibility seriously.
Second half of the season, became a key member on that defense. Now, Weidman with a big shot, fires it, big rebound. Iginla can't gather it up. Schultz was there to break it up. Giordano again at the blue line. Finds Weidman, and he whiffs on the one-timer. Glenn Cross to the far side. Tanguay to the point. Return pass from Giordano, and Eberle breaks it up. Picks Tanguay's pocket. Heads up the ice. He's got Nugent Hopkins with him. Eberle in, and a stick check by Iginla. And a penalty coming here. A hook. It looks like Iginla's going to the box.
Well, Jerome Iginla is in a foot race here with Jordan Eberle. There's a giveaway by Alex Tanguay, and Iginla's going to try and make up the room. And he just gets the stick right in there when Jordan Eberle is taking the puck to the net. I have to say that's a pretty good call.
So the captain in the box for hooking at 9:05. 36 seconds left in the holding penalty to Belanger, and then the Oilers will go on the power play. Stajan facing Hemsky in the face-off circle to the right of Kiprusoff. Hemsky gets the draw. Whitney. Quick pass over to Yakupov, and his shot from 40 feet out is stopped by Kiprusoff. Yakupov Yakupov has not been a force here tonight.
Hasn't been too bad though, Mark. You know, you consider that only his 4th National Hockey League game, and pretty tough. It's not like in junior where I'm sure he had a scoring chance virtually every single shift.
He was wide-eyed this morning, was he not, watching the Flames practice? He was right there at the bench as soon as he arrived, taking it all in.
Even I spoke to Justin Schultz about the difference in playing the American Hockey League, and said the jump is huge to the National Hockey League.
Hemsky and Yakupov. Yakupov, a great pass to Whitney, looking for Hemsky, and it goes over his stick. Flames get it down the ice as Belanger is ready to come out of the penalty box. He steps back onto the ice. Oilers on the power play. They're 2 for 3 tonight with the man advantage. So with Iginla, one of their best players in the box, the Flames will try to kill off the last minute, 10 seconds here. The Oilers power play. Taylor Hall enters the zone. His shot is blocked by Bouwmeester. And the Flames send it right back down the ice.
That bump back that they have with Justin Schultz to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins works well because Nugent-Hopkins has great speed coming up through the middle.
Eberle again turning up. It comes to Justin Schultz, who's leading all Oilers again tonight in ice time. Turning at the circle is Gagne. It gets past Hall, and it's hammered around the boards by Giordano. Less than 40 seconds to go with the Oilers power play. Midway through now the 3rd period. The Oilers trying to come back. Hall is upended at center. Here comes Tanguay. He's got Jones. Jones shoots on the pass, and it's blocked by Whitney. Loose puck for Hemsky. Across to Horkoff. Too far for him. He swats it to the corner. Hemsky on it again. Back to Horkoff, to the point. Whitney with Ryan Smith at his right side. Whitney walking the line to the circle. Hemsky, his pass broken up en route to Yakupov by Jones, and the penalty to Iginla is over. The Oilers with not one shot on that power play.
Jones is proving to be a pretty versatile player, hasn't he? He's had more offensive chances in this game than I can recall in a long time, and excellent defensively.
And that goal post. Great chance. Here comes Hall, dangling, loose puck. Nugent-Hopkins trying to get on it. Hoover's got him tied up, and Stajan will send it back down the ice. 8.5 minutes to go in the 3rd period. The Flames out-shooting the Oilers 30-15 so far tonight. Stajan takes the puck away from Nugent-Hopkins. On the backhand, it's passed to Hoover. Back to Stajan. Circling behind the Oiler net. Back to the line. Throws it in deep for Hudler. Hudler away from Petrie. Yuri Hudler towards the front of the net. Knocked away by Schmid, but right to Stajan. Stajan away from Nugent-Hopkins. And a quick chance by Cervenka just misses. It's kept in at the line. Cervenka in front. Blocked by Schmid. Schmid again with a big play as Stajan tried to center the puck. Hall will flip it to relieve the pressure.
I know there's a lot of pressure when you play with good, skilled guys, but I like to see Matt Stajan take the puck to the net on that play and not pass it up.
Puck goes around the dasher boards as Schultz gathers it up for Justin Schultz. He fanned on the clearing attempt. He comes back to Camilleri, firing it in front. Taken away from the goal mouth by Belanger. Eric Belanger checked by Backlund. Here's Stepniak, a shot, a big fat rebound. Cleared again by Nick Schultz this time. Stepniak looking for Backlund, fighting with Petrel. It comes free, and Belanger will drift it into the Calgary zone. Payarvi on the forecheck, being converted to more of a checking role this season for Edmonton, but he can't reach it. Now Camilleri ahead to Backlund. Backlund's already got one tonight. Hit shot. Stopped by Dubnik. Gagne goes down. The official waves off any call there. And now Yakupov will take the puck at center, but a high stick is called to whistle the play down. Flames holding a 2-goal lead as he makes another big play in front of his net.
Ralph Kruger's had success in Calgary as a player, scored 97 points with the Calgary Wranglers of the Western League in 1978-79. Felt he wasn't a very good skater, so he went to Europe to work on that and stayed for a couple of decades. On the other bench, Bob Hartley is 6 minutes and 56 seconds away from his first win as Flames head coach, which will make him a lot more comfortable when he joins Kelly Rudy and me on After Hours tonight.
No question about that. You can see Hartley pacing on the Calgary bench with 6:56 to go here, and his team up by 2. Gagne facing Stajan. flanked by the Czechs, who are making their first appearance in the Flame uniform. Hudler came over from Detroit, and Cervenka, the KHL star. Hudler deking his way away from Gagne. In front for Cervenka, point blank. What a save by Dubnyk. Cervenka staring at his first NHL goal.
Excellent release. Quick release by Cervenka.
Now Hemsky takes the pass. It goes past him from Yakupov. And the Flames content to get it back down the ice and keep it 200 feet from Kiprusoff. But an icing call in the face-off coming back in the Calgary zone.
Seeing some nice chemistry, Mark, between Cervenka, Hudler, and Stajan. Stajan's been a nice steadying influence tonight on that line. There's Cervenka right in front of Dubnyk. I think he probably had more time than he expected. Probably a little bit surprised, frankly, that he had that much time.
Came from Europe with a blood clot. They put him on blood thinners, and he was cleared on Tuesday by the Mayo Clinic in Phoenix to return to the ice. And so the Flames have great expectations for him to add another scoring dimension.
As advertised, right, Mark?
Yeah.
We've all heard a lot of great things.
Led the KHL in playoff scoring last year with 21 points in 20 games. Great release. We just saw an example of that. Nick Schultz now throwing it towards the net. It goes off and off balance. Taylor Hall, but right back to Justin Schultz. He'll get it deeper on the boards. Hall pressing, trying to get the puck from Weidman. Gets it free. Nugent Hopkins checked from behind by Glenn Cross. Giordano off the stick of Tanguay to center. Nugent Hopkins stripped by Glenn Cross. Right in on goal. Oh, a great pad save by Dubnyk. Back up ice, Eberle to Hall at center. He's checked from behind by Tanguay. Comes back to him, but an offside call at the Calgary line. Curtis Glencross with a great chance. Right in on Dubnyk. Stymied with a pad save. Time now for the Hockey Night Close-Up, brought to you by Subway Restaurants. And the featured player tonight, none other than Jay Bouwmeester.
He's been terrific both ends of the ice, but I think that we should also compliment his partner, Mark Giordano. The two of them tonight having their best chemistry and really showing something up ice offensively and defensively, both playing hard. Giordano a little bit more physical, Bouwmeester using it with his skating ability.
Yeah, Bouwmeester with a goal and an assist tonight, a +3. Great shutdown roll as well, as you mentioned. Derek Smith throws it back in deep. Stempniak along the boards, keeping the cycle going with Backlund. He can't get it past Belanger. He takes the drop pass from Ryan Smith. The veteran heading in hard to the corner, leaving it for Belanger. Squirts in behind the Calgary net. Derek Smith picks up the puck, and he'll flip it back down the ice. Justin Schultz gathers it up. Just less than 5 minutes to go now in the third period. Payarvin around the boards. Glencross there first. Gets it to the line. The Oilers have to tag up. Giordano fires it off the glass. Tanguay there first to wave off the icing. Glencross pressed off the puck by Hemsky, who's been a lot more physical than we've seen him in recent seasons. Those good shoulders now. Hemsky can't reach it. Again, behind the net. The check of Schmid, he picks up the puck again. Again, the holding onto it, leaves it for Glencross. Glencross on the boards. Checked by Petrie. Petrie now ahead to Gagne. Chipping it for Yakupov. Bouwmeester there ahead of the young Russian. Fencing for the puck. It comes right in front of Kiprusoff. Chipping it to the point and kept in by Ryan Whitney. Gagne can't keep it in, and it's cleared by Giordano. Less than 4 minutes to go now. Yakupov turning at his own line. Outlets to Whitney. Chipping it again for Jordan Eberle. Eberle on the ice with Gagne and Taylor Hall. Justin Schultz pinching to keep it deep for Gagne behind the net. Gagne holding onto it. A backhand pass that goes off a stick in behind the goal. Hall tied up along the boards by Stajan. Puck picked up by Bouwmeester. Eberle trying to get it back from him. A great battle for it. Nugent Hopkins gets it to the corner again. Bouwmeester off the boards and by Whitney. Hudler and Cervenka getting in behind Whitney. Cervenka holding the puck in front for Hudler, and it's intercepted by Whitney. Everly dropping it now for Nugent Hopkins. He takes the return pass from Everly. Nugent Hopkins throws it right through the Calgary crease. Hall, a blind pass right on the stick of Cervenka. Roman Cervenka fiddling it in behind. Schultz picks it up and backhands a high shot right on. Stopped by Dubnyk. And Camilleri will gather it up at center ice.
Edmonton just refusing to put pucks to the Calgary net. It's going to be awfully difficult to score 2 goals in the next 2 minutes and 40 seconds if you don't go to the front of the net.
Having trouble getting any kind of time in the Calgary zone as Belanger dumps it in now. Bouwmeester again with that long reach. Breaks it up in head of Ryan Smith. Belanger to the line. Nick Schultz, a bouncing shot. And a save by Kiprusoff with 2:24 to go.
Well, I talked about getting pucks to the net, and this one could have been a very difficult save for Mika Kiprusoff. Nick Schultz puts this bouncing puck on net, and Kiprusoff, with his experience, knows that he has to get his entire body behind that and don't just throw a leg out there in case it bounces and hops right over his pad.
Flames looking for their first win of the season, keeping the Oilers at bay here in the third. The shots were 8-1 Calgary, so the Oil really struggling to get anything on goal, as you mentioned, Kelly. Belanger in the face-off. He gets the draw back to Whitney. Chipping it deep in behind the Calgary net. Gagne forces it free from Giordano. Finds Hemsky. Hemsky shadowed by Bouwmeester. Hemsky tried to play it back to Gagne. And the Flames once again will get it out as Hubner plays it to center. Bouwmeester ahead to Stajan. He's right in. Trapped by the convergence of Whitney on the play, and Belanger to break it up.
Bouwmeester with a terrific outlet pass again, wasn't it, Mark?
He's been great in every phase of the game tonight. Saric is back to gather it up. Yakupov pressing along with Everly. The net is empty at the Edmonton end as they go with 6 attackers in the final minute 40 here. Glenn Cross flipping it back down the ice. Gagne is there to scoop it up. Sam Gagne up the right side. Nugent Hopkins ahead to Taylor Hall. Hall with a move around Smith, who dives and pokes it away. Here's Hall again, trying to come in front with it. Loose puck bounce off a leg in behind the net.
5 red jerseys right in front of the Calgary net too, Mark.
They've all collapsed now. At the point, Gagne firing it right on. Kiprusoff will snag that with 1:09 to go.
Well, let's take a look at Jay Bouwmeester with this terrific pass right up the middle of Matt Stajan. Tape to tape, terrific pass. Just Matt was a little bit flat-footed at the blue line. Ryan Whitney was able to track him down. But here's that heads-up play by Bouwmeester. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if he's missed many outlet passes today. They've all been terrific.
It's been a great pairing with Bouwmeester and Giordano to start the season. The Oilers have called a timeout with 1:09 to go, and Ralph Kruger trying to plot a desperate comeback.
We talked earlier about Bob Hartley being a confident guy. Well, Kruger's the exact same way. We had a chance to meet with him today. Very impressive. And I must tell you, as impressive as he is as a coach, he was a terrific hockey player, as Scott mentioned about going overseas. He played for the Calgary Wranglers years ago. His last year, in fact, my first year in the Western Hockey League, going back to 1978, Mark, if you can believe it.
Yeah.
He finished with 95 points. Oh, wow. Played on a line with Kelly Kizio, the general manager here at the Calgary Hitmen.
You know, back in the early 90s, he was saying he never thought he'd have a career as a coach, so he became a corporate leadership coach. He wrote a book about that. Yeah. He's used a lot of those ideas to help him as a coach. Yeah. Well, here we go. 1:09 left in regulation. The Oiler net empty. 6 attackers on the ice for Edmonton. And Iginla wins the draw. He's been so strong in a centerman role here tonight for Calgary.
Really underrated in that department, Mark. Most people think he's just a right-handed shooter with a great scoring touch, but he's actually worked really hard in the face-off circle over the years.
Well, he was 70% through 2 periods tonight. The icing call will bring the face-off back into the Flame zone with 58 seconds on the clock. Gagne facing Tanguay. All the young Turks are out there. Hall, Gagne, Nugent Hopkins, Everly, and Justin Schultz. and Yakupov. And once again, it's set the length of the ice. Justin Schultz trying to get there quickly. Another icing call with 49.5 to go.
Players were a little apprehensive, weren't they, after that they're waved out. The face-off, we go back to what happened in Edmonton, the face-off violation. You could just sense everybody was a little bit nervous. They're not going to move until the puck is actually dropped.
Especially with the same crew here today. Belanger gets the draw. Justin Schultz, nowhere to go with it, throws it along the boards. Nugent Hopkins pops it free to Iginla, and he finds a gap and gets it to center. 40 seconds to go. Flames have been smothering in their own end. Long pass lands onto the stick of Hall. What a move inside of Bouwmeester, but he can't finish. Behind the net, Hall leaves it. Everly back to Hall. Hall in front. Belanger stopped by Kiprusoff off the glove. Schultz charging, but Glencross gets it past him. Final 15 seconds of the fans drink these moments in. Giordano takes a big hit from Taylor Hall. Everly picks up the puck. At the point, Justin Schultz to the circle. Nugent Hopkins in front, loose puck. Gagne scores with 0.3 seconds left on the clock. But it's academic.
Well, Mika Kiprusoff had his best save of the night just a few seconds ago off Eric Belanger. Pass out front from Taylor Hall right to the tape of Belanger. You can see an amazing save by Kiprusoff tracking that puck. And then the Oilers get another chance right here. Traffic in front. Taylor Hall trying to whack away at the rebound. Sam Gagne comes in, throws it to the right of Kiprusoff's blocker.
Gagne had the overtime winner against the Kings on Thursday night, but the Oilers have left it too late tonight.
I was a little bit surprised, Mark. I really thought that they lacked urgency in the last 4 or 5 minutes, the Edmonton Oilers.
The horn sounds to end the hockey game, and Bob Hartley has his first victory, and so does Mika Kiprusoff of this young NHL season. Hartley's first as head coach of the Flames, as the veterans from Calgary school the young Turks from Edmonton tonight.
And they've been talking about how it's been a challenge to learn the new system that Hartley and his staff have in place. And as we said earlier, they've all stayed positive, and it looks as though that positive attitude has really helped them, because they were always upbeat this morning in practice. In the room, they're upbeat. They had a great work day yesterday. I watched their practice, and it's paid off.
Winless in their first three, the Flames finally get their first victory of the season, prevailing in round one of the Battle of Alberta over Edmonton. Ron?
Mark and Kelly, they're off till Thursday. You could sense Calgary knew they had to have that win tonight. The team's first, Bob Hartley's first, Hudler and Cervenka's first game, first Battle of Alberta. Crown Royal 3 stars, Jay Bouwmeester, Justin Schultz, Lee Stempniak. Calgary finds what they had to have. As Tom Hanks said, that we walked on the moon's not the miracle. We just had to decide to go.